Max Verstappen had almost written off the World Championship. Just 3 weeks ago, it seemed hopeless that he could play any role in the 2025 title race. At the home race in Zandvoort, he had lost to Oscar Piastri and was a whopping 104 points behind the Australian. For many observers, it was clear the fourth consecutive title was practically out of reach. But 3 weeks and 2 dominant victories later, the tables have turned. Verstappen has reduced the gap to 69 points, while Lando Norris has a further 44-point advantage over him. On paper, that's still a massive deficit, but it's no longer an impossible scenario. The Dutchman himself is cautiously optimistic. There are still 7 races to go, and it's still 69 points. That's a lot, he told Sky Sports F1. Everything has to run perfectly on my side, and I also need some bad luck on McLaren's side. It remains extremely difficult. This assessment captures the situation precisely. Verstappen knows he doesn't decide the championship outcome alone. But unlike in midsummer, he believes again that a small door is open. And indeed, the last 2 weekends have shown that Red Bull was able to at least partially turn things around. In Monza and Baku, Verstappen was flawless, securing pole position, race victory, and in Azerbaijan, even the Grand Slam. The McLaren drivers, however, struggled. Oscar Piastri made several mistakes in Baku, including a consequential crash in the race, while Lando Norris was unable to capitalize decisively on this opportunity and only crossed the finish line in 7th place. Verstappen sees the opportunity to make up 35 points, a signal to the competition that he hasn't given up yet. A decisive factor was the technical development of the RB21. With the new floor deployed for the first time in Monza, the aerodynamic balance improved noticeably. The car seemed more stable, better controllable in fast corners, and simultaneously efficient on the straights. Verstappen spoke of a better overall package that allows him to exploit the car's strengths more purposefully. Particularly the consistency over a race distance was progress, but he urges caution. Both Monza and Baku are tracks with low downforce levels, an area where Red Bull traditionally performs better. The real test lies ahead with Singapore. This is precisely where the discussion begins. Can Red Bull confirm the progress on high downforce tracks as well? The Marina Bay Street circuit is considered one of the toughest challenges on the calendar. Tight corners, high temperatures, and the notorious bumps put materials and drivers under constant stress. Verstappen has never won here, and especially in 2023, Singapore was the only race where he didn't even make the podium. For many experts, this is therefore the decisive weekend. If Red Bull is competitive there too, Verstappen could actually still intervene in the title race. McLaren is aware of the danger. Andrea Stella, team principal of the British racing team, had already warned before Baku not to write off Verstappen. His words sounded optimistic at the time, almost defiant, but after the Dutchman's 2 victories, they seem like a self-fulfilling prophecy. McLaren's weaknesses were exposed: strategy errors, crashes, and inconsistent driver performances. Although Piastri still leads the championship, the pressure is mounting. In Baku, through a slow pit stop maneuver. Such details can make all the difference in a tight title fight. For Verstappen, it's about delivering perfection. He himself has stated it clearly. Only if he remains flawless does he have any chance at all. Every slip-up, every wrong strategic decision could end the comeback before it truly begins. At the same time, he needs McLaren's weaknesses to make up ground. Nevertheless, the psychological advantage lies with him. 2 dominant victories have shown that despite the deficit, he's always capable of turning things around. For his opponents, this means additional pressure. They know the 4-time world champion will exploit every opportunity to strike. All eyes are now on Singapore. The track in the heart of the city is a litmus test for any team that stakes a claim to the world championship title. It demands the highest efficiency in the high downforce package, absolute driver precision, and excellent tire management under tropical conditions. For Red Bull, Marina Bay has been an Achilles heel in recent years, while McLaren has recently excelled there. That's precisely why the upcoming weekend is seen as a benchmark. Is the new form of Verstappen and Red Bull just a snapshot on special tracks, or a genuine turning point? Helmut Marko put it succinctly: it's not just high downforce, it's also damn hot there. The heat leads to massive tire degradation, especially on the rear axle, an area where Red Bull has repeatedly had problems this season. In Monza and Baku, this hardly mattered, as the load on the tires was lower. But in Singapore, the old pattern could repeat itself. McLaren, on the other hand, has a package that appears significantly more stable in such conditions. Especially Oscar Piastri has proven how consistently he can drive on hot, tight street circuits. Apart from his debacle in Azerbaijan, it's precisely this contrast that makes the starting position exciting. Verstappen comes with momentum, but doubts remain. He himself acknowledges the uncertainties. Of course, they were two low downforce tracks. Now we have to see how it looks on a high downforce circuit. The honesty is typical of him. He doesn't want euphoria to overflow, but knows that a strong performance in Singapore could completely change the championship dynamics. Should he win there, the signal would be clear. Red Bull is back, competitive on every track. On the other side, McLaren is under pressure. The team has built tremendous confidence in recent months, but the error rate is rising. Piastri's crash in Baku was a key moment. He not only lost points, but also the aura of invincibility. Lando Norris, meanwhile, seemed solid as a driver, but couldn't convert the car's potential into a strong result. A slow pit stop cost him valuable positions, and in a title fight, such mistakes are punished mercilessly. That's exactly what makes the situation so dangerous. While Verstappen has eliminated his errors, McLaren must be careful not to fall into a downward spiral. Then there's the psychological component. Verstappen is a driver who thrives under pressure. He knows he has nothing to lose. Every point he scores is a gain in a duel that seemed lost just a few weeks ago. McLaren, however, carries the burden of favorite status. Every slip-up is judged doubly harshly. Every strategic error is exploited by the media. The danger that Piastri or Norris might become nervous under this pressure is real, and that's exactly what Verstappen is counting on. Technically speaking, Red Bull has closed a weak point with the new floor that long caused instability. The car now seems more balanced, even though the performance windows remain narrow. Laurent Mekies emphasized that the team has learned to rely more heavily on driver feedback and not blindly trust the data. This adjustment seems to be showing results. The RB21 appears more predictable, giving Verstappen the ability to push to the limit without fearing unpredictable car reactions. But how significant this progress really is will only be revealed on a track like Singapore. Historically, Verstappen has never won in Singapore, a statistic that bothers him. It's one of the few circuits that still represents a gap in his victory collection. Should he close this gap, it would have enormous symbolic power. It wouldn't just reignite the title chances, but also signal to McLaren and Ferrari that Red Bull is no longer vulnerable even on its previous weak points. But even with a victory, the task remains gigantic. A 69-point deficit is no small matter, not even for a driver like Verstappen. He needs not only perfect weekends, but also the necessary bit of luck, retirements or errors from his opponents that give him breathing room. Nevertheless, the current development shows the 2025 championship isn't decided yet. Verstappen has pushed the door open again, and as long as it doesn't slam shut for good, he'll charge through it. Conclusion: Singapore will become the decisive moment of the season. If Red Bull achieves a strong result there, the title race could evolve from a duel between Piastri and Norris into a three-way battle. However, if Verstappen fails again, the dream of a fifth title will likely burst definitively. Everything points to the upcoming 300 kilometers in the hot jungle of Marina Bay having more significance than any other race this season. And one thing is clear: Verstappen will do everything to make the seemingly impossible possible after all.